Hi, I'm Ron Paulk. You asked for it? The final tour of the awesome rolling toolbox. This will be the last tour because after this, I am going to take everything out except for the built-ins. So I'll give you a look at it when it's empty before Anthony takes it away. And hopefully if Anthony is willing, I will also introduce you to him. There's a lot to see, so most of what I'm going to do is go through open drawers, let you see what's in them, and move on with minimal commentary. My goal for this video is that it will be documentation for Anthony so he can at least use some of these ideas to load it for himself with his own tools. It'll also help me as I work on my next trailer. So here we go. Now the first thing I'm going to do is unload the aisle. It's the first thing I do when I get on a job. I store my table saws, garbage cans, and other things in the aisleway, and I want to clear that aisleway out. Whether I want to use those things or not on the job, I just move them out and set them aside so that I have full access to the trailer. All of the stuff you see me show you through here, notice that a very high priority, maybe I will call it my number one priority, is that my stuff is in there, but it's not tied down, taped down, zip tied down, strapped down in any way. I don't want my tools buried and locked in so that they slow me down. As much as possible is passive restraints. Things just don't fall out with the things I've developed over the years. It stood the test of time. So ledges that keep tools from pulling out that I can simply lift the tool over. In the aisleway, you'll see me pull a board out. That's just a piece of plywood that wedges in between the cabinets. And I just slip that out, and it can go anywhere along the way if I have more and more stuff. I just want to keep the stuff in the aisle from sliding back when I'm driving. The drawers stay in place by friction. In the back of the Ford F550 box truck, I built a mobile shop. And I had developed these drawers then, and I put little notches in the dados, and I'll try to show you that with the video as we go through. And then on the bottom of the drawers, I put very short, big-headed screws up in that dropped into those notches, so you had to lift them to pull them out. I can show you some pull-out shelves that have that detail here. I did that on these drawers, but I did not put the screw heads in, because in the truck, I did a test and took some of the screws out of some of the drawers, and I found that in the truck, they didn't slide out at all, not even a little bit. They just stayed in place. When I built the trailer, I went ahead and took the time to put the notches in just in case that the trailer may bounce more or have more movement than my truck. But I didn't put the screws in any of the drawers, and all the time that I've used this trailer, when I open it up on a job, that's how the drawers look. They don't slide out. So they work, but as a fail-safe, and I'll show Anthony this when he picks it up, those screws can be added, and that adds the extra safety of having to lift the drawer about 1/8 of an inch or so and pull it out. The tour begins. In the very end of the trailer here, I have two 8-foot long drawers. The top drawer is simply shop-made plywood tools, demo tools, heavy tools, pipes, sledgehammers, and extra long wood clamps. Next to the two drawers is an 8-foot deep area that has a plank in it that goes from 8 foot to 12 foot measurement tools. Wrenches and screwdrivers. Sockets in drawer 3. Pliers. Screw tips. Drill bits. Hole saws. Locks, and also a catch-all drawer. Finish nails. Chisels and files, hammers, circular blades, screws, router bits, router accessories, tape and zip ties, chalk lines and string lines, jigsaws, sandpaper, domino, close, squares, Vituro, sawzall blades and grinder blades, electrical items, putty knives and scrapers, staplers and staples, an empty drawer, it's not labeled, push sticks, and some other accessories. I'll stop here and take the opportunity to show you this drawer. The bottom of the drawer, there's a notch in the dado on both sides. These dados are wider than the bottom of the drawer, so there's room to lift up and down if I have a screw that drops into this. On the bottom of the drawer, lined up with those dados, there would be a screw through the bottom with a big head that would drop into that knot. Behind the bench, tools that I use often. The shelf above, again, stuff that I want to have access to all the time. I have my tape measures all lined up, hooked right on this extra strip that I put here. My charging station, so I have my LED lights that are plugged in and charging at all times and ready to go to work when I get on the job. I keep my charge batteries and my discharge batteries, chargers. All of these chargers are always plugged in. This is probably the most efficient design that I came up with, an adjustable cubby. This cubby is using 1/4-inch plywood dividers slid into these slots that are 2 inches apart, so I can adjust these whenever I need to or when my needs change. This bottom is screwed on, does two things. It holds these in, so I have to remove this to make adjustments. It also creates a lip so that I don't have to worry about the tools sliding out. In these cubbies currently, you can see I have a few tools that I keep in boxes, very few, but a few specialty tools. In the rafters here, I keep a huge array of clamps. I used to keep these in drawers, but I find that they're much easier to see what I need and pull down just a few that I need. But I do group them in the type of clamp they are. I also store my long track up here. I keep the mast for my cabinet jack. On the very top, safe cut just happens to hook right on that edge. A stand-up screw gun, a dovetail jig. This is an air supply. It runs all the way to the front, and I have a couple of plug-ins up here. I have a coiled air hose. As long as the trailer is plugged in, the compressor is always plugged into that line, so I always have that air. I have a couple of garden hose reels. These are $25 or $30 a piece, not expensive air hose reels. I've had those. I didn't like them, the ones that you pull on and they retract. This works better for me. Simply put a 100-foot 3/8-inch air hose, roll it out onto the job. This supplies all my air needs. Put a splitter on it, and then I use my 1/4-inch hoses. I can run multiple carpenters off this single hose. I've rolled it out, then I plug it in. Compressor stays in the trailer. A drain line hole drilled through the floor so that I can just flip the lever and drain water out of the tank. An emergency kit. Second hose reel, and this one holds a 100-foot 10-3 extension cord. Takes care of my lights, my battery chargers, and my compressor. Utilizing wall space in the back, I have some long fiberglass tapes and a fish tape, air hoses, extension cord. 4 vacuums in this nose cabinet, accessories, rags. In the back along the side, I hang my nail vest, nylon cases, zip-up cases, simply dropped in by gravity. Again, they're not bungeed in or strapped in. My dust walls, ladders, so I have a 7-foot and a couple of 4-foot red top. Here I started with this being a closet where I hung my rain gear and such, but it got in the way of my brooms, which I always also kept in here. So I took those out and put them in a drawer. Stair Wizard, the other parts of my cabinet jack, ball restraint harness. These pull out to help me get good access to these shelves. I feel that deep shelves, if you can't pull them out, are not very usable. I drilled holes in the bottom of the drawer. I put screws in that cross member, and so when the drawer drops back in, it falls on those and then it won't pull out. Canvas, old towels, and plastic. More dust wall accessories. Back stock in there of glue and chalk and such. Some more electrical cut-in boxes, a torch, framing nails. My back stock of screws and nails. This is one of my favorite cabinets, and I'm going to replicate this in the next trailer. I might eliminate this and make more of these. Festool accessories, cabinet tools, glues and putty, shims and brushes, hardwood installation tools, caulk and trash bags, huge variety of butainers, screws, bolts, and just all kind of stuff that I need on the job. I used to keep my 2 DeWalt table saws. I went to the larger, heavier saw stops. I keep them on their rolled carts and keep them in the middle as I showed. Planer, Craig Foreman, empty bag. The Polk Workbench 2 miter saw. Shelf up above, laser jam in its case. Squares. The garage, I keep my total station. The total station is only 6 feet long and this garage is 8 feet. So I keep my Blum mini press in the end. I pull this stuff out and pull my mini press out when I need it. And then my levels and my other tracks, if I take this 16-inch level out and try to put in this 2-foot level, it won't go in. Well, that's the tour. I tried to make it quick. I had a lot to cover, and my hope is that you'll look at it one time through, just make some mental notes and have a general overview of what I've done. And then if you were working on a particular project in your shop or in your van or your trailer, there may be one of the solutions that I've come up with that might work for you. So you can then go through the video, fast forward to the point that you see it and take a closer look at it and even freeze frame. So hopefully this will be a resource for you guys. I know it will be for me and hopefully for Anthony as well. Well, I hope this video was informative. If you like it, give it a thumbs up, share it with others, and also subscribe to the channel. And if you want a set of the workbench plans or total station, you can click on the link right here in the video. And if you're on your phone or tablet and you don't have those clickable links, look in the description down below the video and there'll be a link there to my website. Thanks for taking the time to watch. Have a great day.